Good day, YouTube. This video, I'm going to clarify the title, is The Air Force Saved My Quality of Life, not The Air Force Saved My Life. So going back, what am I talking about? The Air Force saved my quality of life. I'm going to share a very personal story with you. When I was 23 years old, I was in Los Angeles, my city of home, and I knew I was struggling. Not every day, but overall I was struggling in the big picture of life and my potential. My quality of life was not good, and that's what I'm going to talk about. It's not that it was horrible, but let me ask you a question. Would you want to live up to the age of 90 years old if the majority of your life, that quality of life was not good? Or would you live up to 60 years old where your quality of life is great? You can answer that if you want to. You don't have to, or it's just something for you to think about. But I'm going to share with you now the details of where I was when I was 23 years old. I was living paycheck to paycheck in Los Angeles. I worked full-time at a photo laboratory, which is a great place. And I was making $12.50 an hour. One of the positives of that time was that I had medical insurance. So they actually provided me with medical insurance because it was a full-time job. But I had been there 5 years. And I realized, you know what, time is just flying by. I'm 23 years old, but I'm not really doing much. I didn't have any money saved. I was single, living paycheck to paycheck, like I said, no investment. At one point, I had a 401k, and I maybe had $500 in there. But after a while, I was like, nope, I need that money now. So I cashed out and got penalized and received maybe $350 out of that. At my job, I think I'd already reached my full potential there. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. At the university that I was attending, when I was about 22, maybe 21, I was academically disqualified, which meant my grade point average was below 2.0 for a few semesters. And they said, you need to go somewhere else and take it seriously or don't come here at all. So I was kicked out of a university. My net worth financially was maybe $500. I was renting a room from a friend. I had my bed and I had a dresser. That's probably $500 right there. I had a car that I had bought brand new when I was 17. It was about 5 years old, but it needed a lot of things taken care of, things that I neglected to do, primarily because of money or because I wanted to spend the money that I had elsewhere. So that car needed a lot of attention that I wasn't doing it. So it was falling apart, even though it was only a 5-year car. Here's the crazy thing. At 22, I was arrested for petty theft. I knew what I was doing. My friend and I walked into a 7-Eleven. Well, my friend did. I was outside waiting for him in the car, and he walked out with a 12-pack of beer. And that was a very dumb thing because we got caught. Even if we wouldn't have got caught, that was a very dumb thing. So I had probation for 1 year, community service 40 hours, and I said, that's not the type of person that I am. I made a big mistake, and that's not going to happen again. So I had to prove myself to others. Yes, the Air Force knew that I had a misdemeanor on my record. I completed my 1 year probation and my community service and have never been in trouble since. But I came into the Air Force with a morale waiver, and it's documented. I had no auto insurance. That was something that wasn't even an option. Why? Because I didn't want it to be an option, even though it should have been for my car. Then I knew this girl that I was talking to, and I let her borrow my car, and she got hit by a drunk driver at 7 in the morning in my car, and that lady turned out to be my wife of 20 years now. And because I didn't have car insurance, I said, you know what? I'm not even going to go look at that car. I would get letters from the towing company, from the impound station saying, hey, your car's here and it's $40 a day or whatever it was. You need to come pick it up. But I already knew I was leaving for the Air Force, and I never even went to go look at the car. Whatever was in there stayed there. I never recovered anything. That car was gone. I was going through the motions of life day by day, and that is something that my quality of life was not good. I'm going to tell you what I tell myself is don't get used to having a poor quality of life, because we're cheating ourselves. And that's what I wouldn't want to do. The military was an option. The Air Force was an option. I said, I have to get out of here, either by myself as a single individual or with this girl that I had known for approximately 8 months. And when I asked her, hey, should we get married because I'm leaving? And she said yes. We got married 1 month before I left for basic training in 1996. And we were blind as to what our future was, but she said, I'm going to go with you. And she did. When I got to my first base, I had to kind of pay for the mistakes that I had made before, for example, being financially broke. But here's the best thing. When you are broke with a family, at the younger age possible, the better. For me, I was already 24 at that time, and I was broke and embarrassed. But here's what I did. I said, I have to do things different, and that's what I did. Joining the Air Force gave me a vision, gave me a purpose. It made me accountable to the Air Force. More importantly, it made me accountable to myself and my family. We should do things for ourselves, not because it's expected because of our boss or our company or our parents. And that's one of the things that maybe you're there already. And if that's the case, great. If you're not, hold yourself accountable. Do things for yourself. You will get more pleasure out of doing things for yourself, and others will get pleasure of seeing you succeed. I made a lot of changes, and that's what it's about, adjusting. I went back to school, and I did it the right way. I finished my school. The Air Force paid for it. I was living a life with a purpose. The Air Force changed my quality of life. Maybe I changed my quality of life because it was my decision to do it. Since then, life has been great. Yes, there are still challenges in everybody's life, to include mine, whether it's relationship, whether it's professional work. That is part of life. Don't settle or get into the habit of this is what it was meant to be. Challenge yourself more than others are going to challenge yourself. It takes a lot of work. It will always take a lot of work, but it's worth the work. I just shared with you how my quality of life changed from mediocre to a great quality of life now. And that is something that just because I'm living that life now doesn't mean I have it solved or figured out. I know what works and what doesn't work, but it's going to always take more work. I hope you have a great day. Make the most of your life. Take care.